stuck. Okay, last time we finished how to abandon the third hindrance, Thina Midda, slot and turple. So today we will move on to the fourth hindrance, the Udacha and the Kukucha, the fourth hindrance, Udacha and Kurkucha. So it is restlessness and remorse. In fact, the Udacha and the Kukucha are the two mental factors. Udacha is one and the Kukucha is another. So we will discuss the characteristic, function, and the manifestation, proximate cause of both mental factors. The characteristics of the Udacha, restlessness is the state of mind which is not calm, or the calmlessness is the nature of the Udacha. Whenever our mind is not calm, not settled, so it is because of the Udacha. So the state of mind which is the calmlessness is the characteristic nature of the Udacha. The example is given for the characteristics of the Udacha, calmlessness, is like the water which is whipped by the wind or which is blown by the wind. So you may just imagine the water which is being blown or the whipped by the wind. So that water is not calm, not settled. So that kind of nature is with the restlessness, Udacha. Since the nature of the Udacha is calmlessness, hence its function is not letting the mind and the mentalities to land properly on any object. So not landing well, not being steadfast in any object. In any object is the function of the Udacha, restlessness. Mind and the mentalities to be steadfast, to be settled, to be calm, but therefore it wavers, it scatters the mind. That is why yogis, meditators realize when Udacha is present, mind is always wavering, not landing properly on any object. So here we have to understand that not only on meditative object, whatever the object is being taken, whether it is good object, whether it is a bad object, whether it is meditative object or whether it is non-meditative object. On any object, the mind is not well settled, not landing properly. So always taking off, always departing off from the object is the manifestation of the Udacha. So the very famous or the regular example given to the Udacha is whenever we smash a stone on the ash, all the ashes are wavering or the flying up or departing from the ground. So means none of the ash is landing properly anywhere. So similarly, when the udacha is present, not the udacha alone, but other mentalities, other mental factors are also not landing properly on the object. Vitarka is not landing properly on the object. All the mentalities, all the co-mental factors which are arising together with the udacha, they are also not landing properly on the object. So that is due to the udacha. So that's why the example is given, the ash which is smashed by the stone or the rock. So I repeat the thing that the udacha, the wavering mind, the restlessness, or the not landing properly on the object is not the only meditative object. Any object. It could be the meditative object or it could be not the meditative object. So for example, while we are observing rising and falling, mind wanders. So while mind is wandering, we think that, oh, the mind is not landing properly on the rising and falling. So the wandering mind is the udacha or the restlessness. But in fact, while mind is wandering and restlessness is there, udacha is there, the object being taken at that time, the thinking object or the wandering object, even the udacha is not taking properly that object, not landing properly on that mental object. So that's why the udacha is such a mental factor which is not landing properly on any object. Neither it does, nor it led to other mentalities to land properly. So that is the true nature of the udacha. If mind is well fixed to the object, having the accurate aiming and by the help of the enough energy, if mind is fixed to the object, then mind hardly wanders. The mind hardly departs from the object. The example is like the dry leaves or the papers can be blown away by the air easily, because because it is not well fixed on the ground, well settled on the ground. But the stone pillar or the rock pillar, which is well grounded, cannot be blown by even the strong wind, because the stone pillar or the rock pillar is well fixed on the ground, well grounded, well settled. Similarly, if mind is well fixed with the accurate aiming and by the help of the enough energy, then the mind hardly wanders. Nature, function, manifestation, and the proximate cause of the udacha. So now we will talk about the kukucha. Kukucha generally we translate as remorse or the guilty feeling or regret. Regret is the kukucha. The word kukucha is derived from the word kukata. Ku is the first word or the syllable and the kata is another word. So ku means the disgusting, kata means the action or the performance. So means disgusting performance. So that is why kukucha means the state of mind which is feeling not good or feeling guilty for the disgusting action or the disgusting performance. So there are two kinds of disgusting action or the disgusting performance. The one is not performing the wholesome action and performing the unwholesome action or the midst this. These two are the disgusting performances according to view of the wise person, according the view of the noble ones. And that is why we feel guilty by thinking the performance, by thinking the past action that we did, which should not be done, which should not be performed, which should not be act. And the second, we feel guilty because though having chance in the past, we didn't perform or we didn't did. So that is the two condition we feel guilty. So that is why the nature of the kukucha, remorse, is feeling guilty repeatedly in the future. Because it only happens in the future after the performing the disgusting action. We have already discussed there are two kinds of disgusting action. One is doing the misdeeds and not performing the wholesome action, though having the opportunity. So after that performance in future, it could be immediate after that action or the performance. That is also the future. It could be after 1 minute or it could be after 1 second. After our performance, once we regret, we feel guilty of doing that. So that is the nature of the kukucha. Like when we were young, at that time we didn't do any wholesome deed or we didn't meditate. Now we are old, we are getting older. So when we are getting older, we may regret now, oh, when I was young, I didn't meditate, I didn't do much wholesome deeds. Now it is hard to do. I am aging, I am getting older, I am getting weaker. It is hard to meditate now. In that way, we may regret. Similarly, while we had enough money or the properties, at that time we didn't perform the generosity, we didn't do dana, now we have nothing. Now we may regret, oh, when I had the enough properties, I didn't do anything. I didn't do any dana. Now I have no opportunity to do dana. Similarly, when we were good in health, we were healthy. At that time, we didn't do any wholesome deed, especially practicing meditation. But now we are sick, our health is no good. Then again, we may feel guilty for not performing the wholesome deeds while our health is quite good. This is the regretful feeling due to being failed in the past, though having opportunity to do the good deeds or the wholesome deeds. So being failed in the past to do the wholesome deeds is the one thing, one situation, and the second is uh, because we did the unwholesome action in the past, we should not be done, we should not be performed, like a killing, stealing, or the sexual misconduct, or the lying, or the taking the intoxicants, etc. So doing the unwholesome deeds in the past is the second condition or the second action caused to arise the remorse. For being failed to perform the wholesome action, we may regret as, oh, I should have done that wholesome deed. Why didn't I do in this way? We may regret. And for the performance, the unwholesome action we did in the past, we may regret as, oh, I shouldn't have done that action. Why did I do that action? So in that way, we may feel regretful. So it is not just about feeling guilty, but it will cause the worry. The worries will be there. What kind of worries is the consequences? We will worry about the consequences that we have done. If we have done the bad actions, bad deeds, then we will worry about the consequences of that bad actions, bad deeds. Okay, I have done this action in the past. Now, what will happen to me? What kind of consequences I should have in the future? If I had, then I would be suffer. So thinking about the consequences, the mind will worry. So making worry is the function of the kukucha. Worrying for the bad sequences is for the bad deeds we have done, and for failing the good deeds, to failing for doing the good deeds, also we worry about that. So how do we worry means, like other people who have done the good deeds, they will enjoy the good results, but I am not going to have that. So that kind of worrying mind or the mentality is there. So worrying for the both action, bad consequences for the bad deeds, and for not having the good results for the good deeds. So guilty feeling or the remorse itself is the manifestation of the kukucha. In another way, we can say that mentally not feeling well is the manifestation of the kukucha, because we do know that when we are being regretful at that time, mind is not calm, mind is not peace, mind is burning at that time, uncomfortable feeling in the mind is there. So that uncomfortable feeling of the remorse or the guilty feeling is the manifestation of the kukucha. And the proximate cause, the nearest cause of the kukucha is none other than the omission and the commission. Commission means the bad deeds we have done. Omission means the good deeds that we fail to do. So that's why the proximate cause of the kukucha is omission and the commission. So this is the nature, function, manifestation, and the approximate cause of the kukucha. So this udacha kukucha, these two are also the hindrances that we have to abandon in order to dwell in Aryavasa. We are quite familiar with the udacha and the kukucha. While we are practicing meditation, mind wanders a lot, mind take off from our meditative object, mind travels here and there, mind takes many objects from here to there, from this to that, that to this. So the mind is always traveling from here to there to here. So the udacha is also quite obvious. It is not landing properly in any object, nor it is landing, neither it is landing on the primary object, nor it is landing other physical objects arising in our different parts of the body, nor it is landing on the mental object. So it's not landing properly, not focusing properly, not taking properly. So the udacha is quite obvious and we are familiar with that. And we are quite familiar with the kukucha also because the incidents, or the accidents or the actions that we have done in the past, we may be forgetful while we are not meditating, but while we start to meditate, while we develop mindfulness concentration, we come to remember, our mind comes to recollect the past automatically, so that we come to remember many incidents or the things that happened in the past or that we have done in the past. So the good deeds also, bad deeds also, we come to remember. So at that time, many times, not sometimes, but many times, in many occasions, the regret or the guilty feeling arise while practicing meditation. Especially we may be regretful for our sila if we have broken down our sila in the past. So we may be very regretful for that. We may be regretful for the misbehaves that we have done to our elders or for the teachers or the friends. So that also we may remember, and we may be regretful for that. So all is about all are about the performances that we have done, the past, we have done the bad deeds and the failing to do the good deeds. Is all about the omission and the commission. We will talk some extra on the remorse or the guilty feelings that may arise even during practicing meditation. So we will talk on the next day. So for today, by knowing the nature, the characteristics, manifestation, the function, and the proximate cause of the udacha and the kukucha, And by knowing that they are the hindrances that must be abandoned in order to dwell in Aryavasa. So may you all be able to abandon this Uddhacca and Kukucca by applying accurate aiming mind and by applying enough energy. May you be able to abandon, may you be able to subside, and may you be able to free from this Uddhacca and the Kukucca, and may you be able to dwell in Aryavasa.